Here with Tiago Guedes, the director of HERDADE. So, first of all, why you choose this topic of your movie and when it comes to the idea and how you develop it?
It's been a long time idea of the producer, Albano, that he wanted to make a movie about this part of Portugal. And then when he invited me, I wanted to create this this kind of film with the environment of the family crossing this part of the timing in Portugal.
And the beginning is a bit cruel when you see the brother.
Yes.
Why this decision to start a movie?
It was very important to because I wanted to talk about heritage, the things that we receive and that we don't know how we receive it, and the things that we pass on to the others. And that was we needed to make like a very strong moment that marks the main character as well. And that seemed to be a good way of him realizing what life is about. And then that justifies a lot of the way he is. At the same time, he's making his own heritage to these kids, and he doesn't realize it. And that's the kind of thing I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, because we see in the recently when he's the main character, he has this strong approach to life, and after with the son, I see it has also this strong. It's because the father.
Yes. That was the way men, especially firstborns, were made up to be the strong one, and that's the kind of heritage that João gets. It like he needed to be strong, and even if it wasn't, he was built that way, and he wanted to do that with his son, and I think that's a really interesting topic. Like, people are the way they are, and when you try to force them, something bad will come out of it.
Yeah. And another topic is the politics. That the main is against, but after he has to do something against.
Yeah, he's a survivor. He's actually for his land, for his territory. So he will do whatever it's better for the territory. So if he needs to be with a fascist government, then when it turns to democracy and communism, he will play the game. He just wants to keep the line.
Yes, this line. And how do you choose the actors to the roles?
It was easy. I know them. I know Albano and I know Sandra already from working in theater with them, and that was quite easy. When I read the script, and I immediately thought of Albano. I needed someone like him with his physical attributes and the quality of the actor, and I needed to have this bigger-than-life character. And Sandra was very much for the silence power of her persona, of her look, and the way she can be very unreadable in her suffering, and that was very important for me to the character.
About the location, you choose this area,
Yeah.
it represents something to you personally? Or?
No, we were looking for it. We were looking for places, and we ended up shooting it in the place that was the origin of the entire will of the Albano to do the film. So it was really interesting that we ended up there, but I chose it because of that big square in the middle of the house, the outside the house. Yeah. And I really wanted that, and I wanted just one stage kind of house, not 2 floors. I wanted just 1 floor, and that was the main reason we ended up there, and that's it.
Okay. About the politics, the choice of the square of the camera. How do you work usually?
For this particular film, our approach was really a classic one. We wanted to play with the same concepts and tools of the classic films that we like. So we went in that direction. We went to that really wide format, and we wanted to make it in a slow pace, to use a lot of silences, to use a lot of unexplainable things that is happening inside the characters.
And another thematic is the love that the main character has with the horses,
Yes.
also with the wind.
Yes.
It's an affection very particular with the horse.
But for me or for
you, and
no,
also in the...
I didn't have any relation with horses, but
Just,
I can really relate to that kind of escape that João needed to have. He's like he's always being demanded to be or strong or decisive, and I think the horse and that life with the horse represents a place for him where he can be himself, and that was the kind of connection that I wanted to.
It's free in this...
Yeah.
Okay, do you have other projects after this movie?
Well, I have several projects. I'm having another movie coming out later this year that I shot 2 years ago, and it took a while to finish, and now I'm starting to work on several projects that I want to realize which one I'm gonna...
There was about the Portugal, the history, or...
Some, yes.
Okay.
Some of it.
Okay, you have worked with the horror genre at the beginning also.
Yes, I
Can you
did.
speak a bit about, because Nocturno is focused on the horror movies.
Really?
So
Okay, yes. No, I started...
we have a mix
I'm a huge fan. And I really like horror movies, especially classic horror and atmospheric horror movies. And yes, my first feature was called Coisa Ruim, Bad Blood, and it was an atmospheric horror movie that I really like tension in cinema. I like the use of tension. I think you can feel it also in Herdade.
It's another kind
different kind of tension, but I really like to be able to pass that kind of sensation.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
First of all, friends of Nocturno, here we are with Albano, the main actor of the movie HERDADE. So how was this experience, and when you start to work on this movie, on this project?
Well, we started working 1 year ago, 1 year and a half actually, and it was amazing. We are still getting ourselves to calm down and to realize what is happening at the same time. But most of all, we are very happy and proud to be here, and we are very conscious about our work. I mean, we create a movie about something that we know. It's a reality, it's a place that we know, and based on that, we built a thought, an idea about the place that we know. And all this movie, it's all about family, and that it's crossed by a revolution, and how your education can be, when you pass on father to son, what remains inside of you, and what you can pass through your generations, but basically it's this. We are a mixed feelings actually. We are overwhelmed with this sensation, but at the same time very conscious about what we want.
Your character has a mixture between dark sides and light sides. He has these feelings that are very contrasted. For example, his relation with the politics is not very...
Yeah.
He wants to do the right thing, but he doesn't care about the politics.
One of the things that we want to build in the beginning, since the beginning of this movie, was we don't want to create character type. We want to create someone human. So we need to create something imperfect. It's not done yet. So it's a coward guy, it's a powerful guy, he's a courage guy, but at the same time he speaks with his employees in a nice way. But at the same time, with his wife, is similar to an animal. So all this was born on the relation with the nature, I believe. It's something like when you connected to a horse, for example, the animal, it's totally unpredictable. So we tried to put that character, that thing on João Fernandes to be a bit unpredictable. But the idea was to expose this character to the moments and try to wait for the moments to define this character. So this is a movie or a character based on imperfection. And also one of the main goals for us was to build something around the silence. Try to communicate not with words but basically with silence, with body, with the situation itself.
Yeah, it is very curious also in the beginning. Your character is very marked by the death of the brother.
Yeah.
And also the reaction that he has is very curious because he didn't cry, he escaped, he goes with to the river, and it's very, his relation with the nature, it's very powerful.
It is. How can you manage that? How can you manage a revolution? How can you manage the incapacity to this character have a truly difficulty to speak, to expose himself. So I believe since the beginning you have that on this João Fernandes, and it's someone who is bigger than life. And saying this, I mean, that is, he kills everything around him, and he stays alone in the end. And in the end, actually, João Fernandes don't know actually what happened to him. So it's like the beginning. He runs away to the place he knows. To nature, to that small island in this land. So it's really we try, doing this. We try to give to the audience a place or space to build his own history also, because again, all the silences, all the things that we don't say directly, we want to the audience to complete this part.
Yes. Also, the education he gives to the son when he teaches the son how to go to the horse, to ride a horse, is very impressive because he's a cruel, but he do this for the good health of the son, I imagine. Also, the shower when he put the eyes.
That's it. It's a violent way to educate, but he has to be strong. Otherwise, you will die. So it's like João Fernandes was taught, so he's trying to pass that learning to his son. So it's someone who cannot adapt himself to the change, to the revolutions, and to his sons, to a new generation. So he says, João Fernandes, he's stuck on his time and on his head and on his heart. He's totally tight, and he's at the same time a fight for to get rid of that, but he can't.
Maybe the only thing that he can be free is with the horse. He has this relation. Maybe the only moment is more human, more.
Yeah, it is, because we're speaking about an animal. We're speaking about an animal that reacts to direct orders, and that's a whole. Actually, before the movie, I was working with a horse 3 months, and not just riding. I mean, I can take care of a horse now. Yeah, the main thing for me was, well, I have to know how to speak or to touch with this animal. And I believe all the movie, it's painted like with this energy, actually.
Before you didn't have experience with the horses, with...
Yeah, I can ride a horse, I mean, 10 years ago, but not like this. This is a new way of see things and a new way to connect with things. And that's it. I try to put myself in this position to connect with my colleagues on the plateau, on the set. I try to be free and to occupy the places. For example, if a horse enters here now, everyone will say, "Whoa, what is it?" So it's similar to that kind of energy.
Yes.
When João Fernandes enters a place, he's like a horse. This is mine, you know. So it's a bit like that.
Yeah, we see in the marriage party that has this sense of it is into and not at the same time. So it's curious. Do you find some similarities with your character, your personally, or it was different from you? You have something similar to João, or?
We always have when we work. Well, all my education it's based on theater. Yeah, we always have a part or a bit of yourself in what you do. I believe really that you have all the characters in the world inside you. You just have to find out a way for them to come out. So yes, it's my body, it's my voice, it's all passes through my body and through my head and thoughts and the way I see things. But basically, I have to be available to accept all the things, all Tiago, Guedes directions, all a colleague, all the words. I try to dress all the words with this body. I believe, yes, I always have a bit of myself on what I do.
Okay. Do you have next other projects after this movie?
Yes, I have. Well, I'm directing a play now in Lisbon. I also direct. It's The Lover from Harold Pinter's play, and I'm rehearsing also as an actor Danton's Death from George Buchner in the National Theatre. And at the same time, I have a project. Perhaps I can speak a lot about it, but it's a Netflix thing. But we will see in the future.
Okay, thank you very much.
But Sandra, it's easier.
Yeah, it's just to say the beginning. Hi, we are here with Sandra Faleiro, the main character of the movie, HERDADE. So, how was this experience?
Well, it was an unique and fantastic experience, because all the process was very difficult and very hard. But it was one of a kind in my profession, because these kind of projects are rare in our life, you know, because of all the people involved were really in the same the same stage of working. We were all working for the same, you know. So it was the kind of work that is going to mark my life as an actress. I grew up a lot. This character, this film, with all the people involved, and Tiago, that I love.
How do you manage this character, the behavior of the character? She's a very strong woman. She's very silent. She keeps the things inside.
Yes, and it's like a paradox. She's always living in this. she's strong and she's weak, you know. Yeah, she's submissive, and she's emancipated. she's well, she's a woman that was trained, educated to be submissive and to do what her husband wants her to do. There was a dictator living times of dictator, and it was the society. It was really repressive to women. So she was the daughter of a general. So it is.
She has a difficult position because she's in the middle. She has the man and the father.
Yes. It's really difficult, and she's like used to suffer in silence. And but after all, she's a very strong woman that emancipated herself with the history of her life and of the country too, that influences her. So it was really. She had lots of babies.
She was pregnant, so
yes, and all that. The pregnancy, it was not a very good pregnancy because she's suffering.
Yes, drinks also.
She drinks, she smokes a lot.
Yeah, the marriage
she's always
of the
like,
sister.
you know, she's always like in pressure.
She's never relaxed.
Never. So it was very, very hard. When I finished the film, it was like
How was the relation with the other actors, with the actor?
We are all we respect each other and we admire the work of each other. So it was very easy in that way. There is the honesty in our work. So in the group, so we were there to tell this story. And it was our goal.
What's the message of the movie, in your opinion? The main ones, there are many levels.
This is about the family. I don't know if there is a message. I think this is very about human beings. It's the strongest thing in the movie. I think it's universal about the paradox that exists in our lives when we do that. It's about our family. The relationships. I'm proud of doing this movie because I'm a feminist, and, so I think it's good to tell the story because my mother was really repressed and we still are. There is a long journey in front of us to deal with lots of things. Men, they want one more than us. Salary is bigger than us. Well, the gestores, how do I say, the directors are lots of men. So I think
they have also very important.
And the violence, domestic violence is still an issue. So there are lots of issues that we have to talk about. But I think this is a strong one.
It's a very interesting character. What about your next project? There is something.
Yes, I'm going to plays. I'm going to do theatre next year. I'm going to direct a play. I'm going to It's theater. It's theater. It's full of theater.
There are plays or
Chekhov.
very classic?
Classic. And Portuguese play, Nancy Carino.